When we watch some of the superficial movies, we feel that the powers inside the movie generated are irreplicable to us in our normal life. Well, I've got a very interesting personality over here whom I've known for the last 8 years, who is being blessed with the power of technology in the field of 3D printing. It's none other than Mr. Ryan Vaz. Hello, Ryan. Good to
Hi,
see you.
hi Akhilesh.
How are you feeling?
Excellent and excited.
Excited? Me too, for the first time over here. Right. Ryan, tell me one thing about yourself which is unknown to us.
Um, well, many people do not know that I think I'm an introvert. I get scared to talk in front of people. So as a child, when I would go to a teacher to correct my book, I used to get very scared, and I would keep practicing to myself. Teacher, please correct my book. Teacher, please correct my book. So yeah, that's something people don't know, and even I think a lot of people get surprised when they see or when they hear me saying something like this.
I'm surprised. Since the time I've met you, I don't think you've been an introvert. I've seen you mostly on the stages, giving talks, giving workshops, and where not. And that's how I came in touch with you.
That's the business version of Ryan.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, Ryan, I've known you since the time of 3D printing, and since the time I have had a passion of 3D printing about
Yes.
6 to 8 years back.
Yes.
One question: why 3D printing?
Well, I am a tool and die maker by profession, and it's a field that I love doing. And a tool and die maker is a person who makes products, plastic items, molds, press tools. So when we started off our business, we started off as die makers, but eventually circumstances, necessities took me away from that field, and we entered into the infra field. I always had this urge that I wanted to get back to my core. I wanted to create products which were not known or not being used. So why should a cup only be of this shape? Why can't I change the shape? Why should a pen be thin and long? Why can't I change that? And those questions in my mind said, how do I do this? And making a mold, the traditional process, was a bit long, expensive, and I did not have that deep pockets. So I said, let's check online let's research and see what else is there. So that time there was this process called RPT, or rapid prototyping, which is today called 3D printing. And I stumbled upon that, and ever since fell in love. Yes, so that's why 3D printing. So I said, making something that I love into a business, nothing like it. So that's why 3D printing.
You said you fell in love with 3D printing.
Yes.
I hope you're prioritizing your time to your wife also.
Of course.
Okay.
We have divided our time very well.
Okay. So, Ryan, if I go ahead and I ask you, there are certain products in the market which are being manufactured, okay, using the CNC tools. A lot has been into the mold making also. There are certain products which I have come across which are non-manufacturable. Could you shed some light into that going ahead?
So 3D printing, I think one of the biggest strengths of 3D printing is the ability to prototype, the ability to make something without a mold. Beyond that, its ability to create something which conventional machines or conventional forms of manufacturing can do, that's another strength that 3D printing has. 3D printing can create a ball inside a ball inside a ball in a single piece. It can create a bearing set, and it can create moving parts in a single piece, and that's where another strength of its lies. But besides these, also there are certain shapes that cannot be conventionally manufactured, which 3D printing is able to do, and it's able to do this because it's an additive process. It adds material, so you can play around with clearances, you can play around with the layers to create very complex and intricate structures which would traditionally not be possible.
Nice to hear that. Now, since you are in the field of creations and innovations, and I've seen a lot of students, a lot of people who want to start up, okay, and the world is growing in terms of startup industry. If I'm starting a business today, how or where should I promote my product?
Starting a business in 3D printing or in general?
I'm asking you in general. If I had to start with 3D printing, you can share some light on that.
Okay, so I think one of the first things that we need to do is understand what are we starting for, who is our target market, what is the kind of industry that we want to cater to. The beauty of 3D printing is that it's not industry specific or product specific or process specific tool. And I think that's the word that we should catch on to. 3D printing is a tool. Just as your screwdriver is a tool, your laptop is a tool, a CNC machine is a tool. 3D printing is also a tool that can be used used to improve your product manufacturing process or to improve your product itself. That being said, when you're looking at or starting a new business, one of the first things that you need to identify is who is your target market, whom are you starting it for,
Absolutely.
why are you starting it for that particular group, what is their pain points. Okay, and if you understand that, I think you've got a captive target audience. Then you decide which field or what type of 3D printing that you want to enter in. A lot of people look at 3D printing as, okay, something new, this is we can all enter into it. What do we do first? FDM printers is the cheapest, Ender is there, we are getting for 17,000, let's buy an Ender printer and start 3D printing. But it doesn't work that way. Then you enter into a field that everybody else is entering into, and what do they end up doing then? Just to make ends meet, they'll end up printing keychains and basically toys and fun stuff. But serious 3D printing does not happen over there. If you identify that, okay, my target market is going to be automobile manufacturers, or it can be any OEMs, then you decide what kind of 3D printers I am going to buy for them. You're going to be using due diligence. You're going to do a market study and ask those automobile industries or those manufacturers or those OEMs, what are their problems and what are the problems that you can solve. You can then get funding and buy the printers that you need for these people. We do the other way around. We buy the printers first and then figure out whom we are going to sell it to. Okay. So that has to be avoided. So anyone starting a business, see who you are strong with. What kind of circle are you strong with? For example, if you are an artist, that means you've got a large circle of artist friends. Then you buy a 3D printer that will help them do something better in their sculptures or in their artwork. If you are an architect, or if you have lots of friends who are architects, then you want to buy a set of 3D printers or buy a set of tools that will help architects in their pain points. A lot of architects find difficulty in doing what they call as parametric design. Parametric design means designs that are free flowing, that have no definitive shape. You can't define the shape, they are curves. So if you can find a 3D printer that can solve that kind of problem, then yes, that is the target market that you should focus on.
So basically you're talking in terms of parametric design, designs which cannot be produced by any normal method, but they require a specific formula going into it, going into the digital softwares and all those kind of platforms.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
So for example, if I may interrupt, for example, there is one architect called Krishnamurthy.
Okay.
And we had a session. So I'm part of a organization called Indian Additive Manufacturing Forum, and we organize events in every city every 2 months or so. And there we call in experts of their fields. And in this particular event that we had in Mumbai recently, we called in an architect who's doing phenomenal work using 3D printing. If you just look up, he runs something called Folds Design Studio. The kind of work that he does blew all of us, and we are all veterans. People who have been there for 20-25 years in the business were spellbound by the kind of projects he's been doing. And I'm not talking about making miniatures or making toy structures. He has done a 120-meter long sculpture using 3D printing, and then done it in metal. So using 3D printing as a base, so he printed the entire structure and then used metal to create it. 80-ton structure has been put up somewhere. He's done columns that are about, I think if I remember correctly, 30 meters tall, using 3D printing and using 4 or 5 machines, FDM printers. I mean, he's doing phenomenal work. So there's no limit. And if we are able to see what are the kind of different areas that additive manufacturing or 3D printing can be pushed into, it's an exciting future ahead.
Sounds good. Right. When you talk about 3D printing, and you've spoken a lot about the target market, and the person who's starting a business needs to identify their field of work. When it comes to Ryan Vaz and Infinite 3D, what is your focus of work?
Very interesting question. So we experimented a lot over the years, and we finally realized that our strength is industries and schools. So we do a lot of work with industries as well as with schools. I've got a very good team. I'm blessed with a very good team who's very good at designing, developing new products, enhancing product, enhancing the product itself, or enhancing the production process. So we help you to create fixtures, we help you to create jigs, we help you to create, improve the product. So product improvement also, and we work a lot as far as the industry is concerned.
Nice.
We actually go to the industry, sit and understand what is it that they do, what are the challenges that they're facing, because the challenge that they face is that they don't even know they have a problem. I mean, it has gone through, they've got used to it, so they don't identify it as a problem. We go there and identify that these are the areas that you can improve and help them to do that. So that's one activity that we do. The other activity is that I'm very passionate about youngsters. I got 3 boys myself, and I think it is everyone's duty to make a better India. And I like to see a more innovative India. India recognized as the innovative capital of the world, and whatever I can do in that direction, I'm doing. I see a lot of kids that have got innovation inbred in them, and we like to try to see how we can bring that innovation out. So we work with students, giving them workshops and then giving them small challenges and trying to see what they come up with. We create something called as STEAM labs. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts and maths, and wherein the kids learn these aspects of their studies in a lab, and are able to try out different things. So we create these labs where children can just come and start using a 3D printer, use a robotics kit, use an IoT kit, and start making stuff, creating solutions to problems that they have, things that we have taken for granted. And we've seen some amazing results from kids. It's so exciting when they come up with these ideas. Someone said, why can't we use plastic bottles to make printers, to make
The
filaments? And we said, okay, go ahead and try it. So they went on YouTube themselves, did some research on themselves, and they printed it. Someone said, why can't we make filters, water filters?
Okay.
And they did it. Someone said, why can't we make vase, self-watering vase? So in one of my early workshops, one child did that also. I gave magnets to one small girl, I think 7 or 8 years old. And I said, what can we do with magnets and 3D printing? And she said, can we make a bookmark which clips on to the pages?
Okay.
So the magnet goes and folds back to the page so that the bookmark doesn't fall out. So interesting ideas come up from kids when we give them. So I love and I enjoy working with kids.
Absolutely. Myself, I also try to conduct workshop for kids, if you know, for students of colleges. And when it's a very pleasant moment going out with kids and students, because today we have grown up busy with our work life and you get to interact with the students out there. Of course, we are going to train them for the future, but you get, I feel, to learn from them as well.
So much, so much. We had this program for, if I may say so, we had this program for Vidya Vikas.
Okay.
When I first set up the lab for them, um, um, we had their teachers and get their children involved and do one shop, like a exhibition come sale event for Christmas. And they did earrings, necklaces, keychains, lampshades, Christmas decorations. Uh, and when I went there to see, just have a look at what they did, I was stunned because they did all this in the matter of just 1 month, even less than a month. Not just that, they did stuff which I would have taken long time to do. So I was completely confused. How did you manage with one or two printers to do so many things? And I actually sat with them to understand how they did, and I learned a lot. So, I sent for a
Okay.
workshop from them. And these were kids
Nice.
there. They were kids, 6th standard, 7th standard students who worked with their teacher and came up with these ideas and stuff that I couldn't believe that I was looking at those things. We even then took them for an exhibition, for a pop-up bazaar, and they had a nice good sale over there as well.
Amazing how students play a key role in our life, isn't
course,
it,
of
as a
course.
business people?
Of course.
So yeah, when I said I conduct workshops for students, I try to make sure they get industry ready after they do the workshop. Ryan, if I have to ask you, you conduct a lot of workshop for the students. Are they industry ready for tomorrow?
So the ones that I touch, I'm proud to say that we do what we can. I've seen, I mean, I understand what you are saying, that students are not ready as yet. But I've seen a major difference in the interns that come to my place.
Exactly.
And I'm very proud of that, because the type of interns that come in over here, some of them hardly know the basics. But 1 week with us, and then you'll find kids doing stuff which they themselves never thought possible. If
Nice.
you go out and look at my workshop, at my display, almost everything that has been done over there done by interns. Almost every new innovation, I give it out to them, show them give them a problem statement, and ask them, tell me what solution you give. And if you see over there, there are molds made, there are this, I was talking about filament out of PET bottles made, different light fixtures made, and all of these done by interns. So I don't know about those that I cannot touch, but those that I touch, we try to see as much as possible that they are ready. You can take them and put them into any company has a 3D printer, and I think they'll be very comfortable over there. In fact, I'm so proud again that people who have worked with me or worked under me and have got a job in a 3D printing space, and I'm somehow connected to them, are doing extremely well.
We've spoken a lot till now, and I've not found a bit of the introvert nature of yours going ahead. Right, when you start a business, you've got to talk a lot to the people. Am I right?
Yes.
Approach a lot of people
Yes.
who are unknown to you.
Yes.
I've experienced that. There is that kind of I won't say fear, but a hesitance when you approach a new person.
Yes.
I would like to know, how did you overcome that particular aspect?
Well, that fear is still there.
Okay.
But
I'm not scary.
no. So so there are two parts to it. One is having a conversation one-on-one with a complete stranger, and one is going and talking in front of a crowd. Public speaking. At a young age, I was exposed to the JCI, and I think my stint, or the 5 to 10 years that I spent in JCI, shaped me up as a speaker, as a public speaker. I was able to meet a lot of people, speak at a lot of public forums, and JCs do put a lot of focus on self improvement. So a lot of what I am in from that aspect is because of JCs. Once I entered into BNI in 2012, again a lot of public speaking came up. I was able to break that barrier of going and talking to strangers. It was very difficult for me to go and talk to a stranger. You tell me, after JCIs, you tell me to go and stand on a stage and give out a speech impromptu, I was okay with it. But go and talk to that man in the corner, it was very difficult. It was very scary. BNI helped me to break that mindset of mine. It's all a mind game, and
Absolutely.
the number of trainings that I went to, the number of people that I was exposed to, the different experiences that I had helped me to break those inhibitions and start. So I can now go and talk to people, particularly business people. If you ask me to talk to a relative, that's something scary still. But business people, I'm very comfortable. Go and talk to on a stage in front of, even 1,000 people, 4,000 people. I don't mind. I can go and talk. But that transition has happened over time, over experiences, good and bad, and with the help of friends, family, coaches, and of course these organizations like BNI, JCI.
Of course, certain experiences do make you into a stronger and a better person. And especially when you have this kind of a business which is very innovative and unknown to the market, I would say you do require a platform. Am I right?
Yes, we do. We do.
2014, Infinite 3D was started by you.
Yes.
We are approaching 2024, almost a decade into 3D printing, and I must say you have been a pioneer since then.
Yes.
Who is Ryan Vaz and Infinite 3D 2026 and beyond?
Interesting question. So we've got a very ambitious plan lined up. Like as I mentioned before, we've got two focus areas. One is industries and one is education. And it is education that I want to take much further. I mean, industries will be there. That's a very strong part of our business. But education is something that I think I'll be making a lot more impact on people, and I have a very ambitious plan. We look at crossing Goa borders as far as this business is concerned, or as far as education is concerned, by the end of this year, and we aim to cross India borders by the end of next financial year. So we want to expand into markets like Dubai, Australia, and even Europe, God willing, and with again support of people like you. And I've been blessed with a lot of good wishes, well wishes, and that has made the difference. We aim to be a very big company in the next 3 years. There's a lot of work that is going on in the background in that process. I can't really open it out to you, but yes, a lot of new and interesting things are happening. We are coming up with a new product which I think will be the game changer for Infinite 3D, and probably in June we'll be having, not probably, in June we'll be having the launch of the product.
Fantastic. It was a phenomenal experience talking to you regarding 3D printing and Infinite 3D.
Thank you.
From the side of Startup the Goa, I wish you all the best, good luck, and best wishes to you and your team going ahead in terms of Infinite 3D and 3D printing.
Thank you so
And
much.
the next time I come, or maybe we meet on a stage, I would like to have it on a national television.
For sure. The way that you have started off, and I love this initiative that you have taken, because I think business people are unsung heroes, and what you are doing is basically bringing business people on the forefront, and you should keep up this work. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Sir.